Hello,
Hello,
welcome.
welcome to Mental Men.
Another episode.
This one is a special episode.
Yeah, we hit episode 10.
Double digits, baby.
Yeah. I didn't think we would get there, but we did
I hate you guys so much.
it.
I didn't want to see you this many times.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we thought today we would just do kind of a recap
We were going to talk about, we're kind of more just a relaxed sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Talk about, what we think about the podcast so far. And then,
so
just kinda
what
talk.
do you think?
I think it's terrible. I think it's actually getting slowly better.
Yeah.
Just the way we talk. I feel like there was more pauses and stuff in between, except for the first two when we're telling our stories. Those are my favorite two, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, we kind of understand our flow a little bit better, like how we operate and stuff. But yeah, we're still in that experimental phase. I think it'll just take some time.
Yeah.
Like if you look at some podcasts, it's like, well, they started, getting good at like 50 or 100 or,
Yeah.
like,
Well, hopefully it'll stay so long. Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, we still haven't even had a guest on. It's like,
Yeah, that's true.
what does that look like as well? And like, do we want to have some people remotely or only in person? Or
Would you ever have family on?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I know have a family member that said they would come on. So I think when we're ready, I can ask that person. And,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, for me, I see it as, again, like long-term thing, like something we can do for 20 years. That's how I see this.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Yeah. Why
And
not?
like, it's like,
As things change, why not?
yeah. And I think, we can build our own little community here, right? Like, I have some visions.
We have 8 followers, so not bad.
With zero promotion. I literally promoted it once, like episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, my problem is I hate posting anything on social media. Yeah.
What can I ask why?
I don't know. I hate the idea of like fishing for likes, and I also so many people just post like I like it's more. I think I hate the idea that everything is always perfect. Everything is always like, look how great my life is, so amazing. I think that's why the thing I dislike the most about it.
But yeah, I think there's definitely a shift to more like
Yeah.
real, right? Like, and I think AI is part of that because it amplifies that fakeness.
God damn it, you talk about AI too much. I hate AI so much.
But I mean, that makes our story more, it stands out more.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think that, we just keep being honest and tell who we are. And I think that'll carry us further,
Well, I was telling Ash, it's like my idea for the podcast is basically just like talking open and honestly about like our emotions, and like our feelings and different things like that, with the idea that to inspire other men to be like, they can talk like that. Why can't I talk like that?
Yeah. What do you think?
Thanks for bringing me into the conversation. So, a little earlier this time. I think the podcast has been great. I mean, I know I'm kind of just in the background, but like your guys' stories have been great. And just, I've known you guys for 30 years, 40 years almost.
Not me.
Not you, but Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know a lot of this stuff. So it's been really good to, like, even on this, like, just being here, it's been awesome. I got some ideas for the podcast too, and I think.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do. I got some ideas. I would like to replace one of the hosts. But yeah, no, it's been good. I think getting some, we'll get some guests and hearing other stories, and I really liked in the last episode you were talking about the magazine. It actually reminded me when we kind of stopped recording. Have you ever read People of New York? or seen it?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what it kind of reminded me
I
of.
like
It's
that. Yeah.
it could be like a coffee table book one day.
Oh,
Like
that's
a book
good.
of inspiration kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have to get on Instagram, Jordan, so you can post this.
And then I can send you hilarious videos that I see of like Liver King or
Yeah,
something.
we don't have each other's Instagram because I'm on there.
You're on Instagram?
Yeah.
I didn't think you had any of that
I
stuff.
posted yesterday.
Oh, did you?
After like probably 2 months of being away.
Oh.
I'm not very consistent.
40 years of friendship, and I now we're
Yeah, I don't
now
think
we're
I
gonna
have
be
you
friends on
either.
Instagram.
No,
What?
I have some
No,
of
no,
our
it's
friends.
okay. We're just like good friends, and you know, we do a podcast together. No, we don't need to communicate about these things. That's crazy.
I mean, I don't post anything on Instagram. I have pictures of my cats. That's about it.
Yeah.
I do what Brad does. I just go look for fun
I usually
videos.
post my kids' birthdays that I forgot this year. I just have pictures.
It's the only way I'm going to remember your kids.
For me.
No, I posted I'm hosting a workshop on March 28th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For
6 stories to AI proof your company. So like I have these kind of like 6 stories that all companies need to go through in order to survive AI and in order to be more authentic and build their own kind of community. Because I think people are sick of faceless companies.
yeah,
They want to know who's behind everything. They want to trust people now. So I think stories are that way to bridge that for companies. So yeah, I'm just promoted it yesterday and I found a space that it's 3 p.m. to 4:30. It's in downtown. Yeah. And I don't know.
Jordan, why don't you promote your Instagram so maybe the people who want to see is
At Fat Monk Jordan.
it'll be in the description on the YouTube page.
Yeah, we should do that, right?
There you go.
Because for the description, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Because other people, they'll put like, they're a little summary. Other people, they don't put anything. Other people put their advertisements or their sponsors. And other people put like which cameras they used and what
What cameras do we use, Jordan?
well, see, we have one from 1989.
old Beulah. I call it. So yeah, we can. But sometimes it'll be like 2 weeks later or whatever, and then I'm like, "What did we talk about?"
Watch it.
I don't
Listen
want
to a little bit of it.
Well, I hate kind of like listening to my voice, and
I hate listening to this podcast.
sometimes I'll just like listen to a minute of it. I just sound so weird sometimes. Like,
It's good it is unfortunately good to listen because it's in like episode 3 or something. For some reason, I say like about 10 billion times. And I don't know why I did it. And anyways, it annoys me. So
What?
I'm trying very hard not to.
now, do you feel more natural on camera? Do you even
A little more. I think a
about it?
bigger thing too was I wasn't really, in my opinion, assertive with my thoughts. I was kind of like holding back. And so when
Yeah.
you're more assertive with your thoughts, you speak more normally, like how you would normally speak.
Yeah.
So you're not saying like. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like you don't want to post on social media, but yet you can tell your life story, and I think you have control over your own narrative, right? You're not like just doing it for likes.
Yeah.
It's like you're just being you, and I think that's the essence of the podcast. That's at least what I kind of thought the core could be, was just us. Because, what we had growing up, I still feel it's pretty special, right? So my initial vision was, I told Brandon this, like just streaming us playing video games like we used to. and I thought, oh, having us still being friends after whatever 30 whatever years would kind of inspire other people to get together and reignite some of those relationships. So I thought that could be like the good core of it. But I think I discovered we're all at different points in our life. Not all of us are ready to tell our story. And so, it took a lot of like shifting and like I started that other podcast, Coffee with Canadians, where, I interviewed you guys. It was more about, me relearning Canada, but I felt like it didn't, like it was missing something. So that when, after the relapse happened, then you messaged me. He said, let's do a mental health podcast. And then it just kind of like clicked. It's like, oh, okay. And then now we're like more ready. Like it's not like forced. It's like there's something there that you
Spark.
yeah, like a spark. Yeah. And it's not just me like, wanting to start a podcast and just for the, shits and giggles or
Yeah.
whatever, it like can actually mean something. So
Yeah.
I think it just took some uncomfortable.
It just took you relapsing. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just took your mental health.
We should all
Okay.
thank Jordan for his relapse so that we could start the podcast. But Jordan, you both have come a long way. Like even during the pod, like when we start this, how long ago?
It feels like a long time. I guess it was
January.
when we were on episode 10. We do
2 every couple weeks.
yes.
We started January, what, 4th or 6th?
It was early January, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys have both come a long way. Just the way you guys talk on camera, and
Yeah.
I think you guys have been doing great. So
What
Thank you.
What about you? Do you feel more comfortable?
I feel a little more comfortable. I still feel like the background guy, which I'm happy with, and I like switching the cameras back and forth. But yeah, no, I'm good.
Do you feel like because you're the third or whatever? I don't consider you to be the third.
I do.
Yeah.
Brandon turns his mic on like, damn it, number 3.
But do you feel like you're hiding in a way, some part of you?
No, I just
question.
I've always like I think I've told you like I'm gonna tell my story one day, but you guys are the face of the podcast. You guys are this main shot is of you guys.
Yeah.
So I want the viewers to get to know you
For
guys
now.
first. For now.
But what are you hiding?
Hiding so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like I'll tell my story one day, but I want the viewers, our 8 viewers, I want you guys to become the face of it. So I'm good back here for now. Who knows what the future holds? Subscribe to Mental Man. But
Yep. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. What about like? Do you feel comfortable like selling the podcast? Like
I mean, yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of outlets to do that, I guess.
I'll sell to whoever wants to buy it.
Because let's just say I'm thinking maybe around episode 25 or so, there's stuff I want to talk about that I don't want certain people to maybe find the podcast. And maybe by that point, I'll be more comfortable. Or if it does, it's just like sometimes things need to come to a head. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I feel the same way. It's like sometimes I'll hit on like, okay, should I say this person's name or something? It's like, no,
Yeah.
you don't. It's not. We're not here to like expose or use it against someone or
Yeah, it's just that sometimes when you're telling a story or you're trying to make a specific point, your
Yeah.
own specific story is very important to that. And if you're talking about somebody, they'll know
yeah,
who you are or they'll know exactly who you mean.
yeah.
So, anyways, try to protect some people, but
And I
Except for
think-
Kevin.
what's up,
We can expose Kevin. He deserves it.
our good friend Kevin?
Yeah, we have a couple friends who are teachers who I don't like want to
Respect.
ask.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that too. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I just don't want to ask because, like, I don't want them to get in trouble, right? Like,
Well, I
I
guess
would
also,
love
I
if they
guess,
were on the podcast. Actually, that'd be awesome.
I guess like the people, like there's the three of us, but there's also three more that we grew
yeah,
up with
yeah,
that we've known since kindergarten or a couple of you since junior
that
high.
we play questions with.
So yeah, so it's not just the three of us. There's the
Yeah.
whole group,
yeah. Well, maybe in the future, who knows, right?
if they want,
Yeah, I'm down.
except for Kevin.
Yeah, we would have we would need like a bigger table or something, or
Oh, like to get everybody in.
more.
And
Yeah,
then we need like a camera apparatus where the camera like spins around and Brandon's trying to like control it.
Yeah.
And what's going
a
on?
drone here with this heavy thing.
Yeah. It's so funny. We had a camera like that growing up. And I think the battery life is actually pretty long. And you could get a cassette tape that would be like 5 hours maybe.
Yeah.
And my dad would constantly forget it and leave it on. We were on a houseboat one time and he had left it and it recorded this like green sock for like 3 hours. We're like, because then you're sitting at home watching, you're like, what is going on here?
Did you watch all 3 hours?
Well, you fast forwarded. But even when you're fast forwarding, it like takes forever on a tape.
Good times. So yeah.
So Brad, you wanted to talk about some things with us?
I just thought we could, have a little chit chat about
No,
a
but
few,
you said
few
there's
things,
like
yeah. So George, he really likes to dress up as like a princess. And I think he's just copying Ellie, but I don't really care. I'm just like, whatever. He's just playing dress up. Who cares? Do whatever you want. Let's just say some people had some problems with it. And we're like, well, we need to buy you a suit, George. And then Ash was like, what's your problem with him wearing a dress? And he's like, well, where do I start? And it's like, he's fucking 3 years old. He's wearing a princess dress. We're not out to a fancy dinner. We're at home. He's playing. Oh my God, I hate that shit so much. It's just like, it's like if he grows up and he's more comfortable in himself and his own skin and all this because he was allowed to play dress up and all that, then that makes me super happy, rather than try to beat down and me tell him who he is. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So is that the future of the podcast?
well, that's how we grew up. Like that's at least my dad. It was like my dad. If I wore a dress, my dad would be like, "Get that off." Like we grew up in that. Our parents were in that another era
Yeah.
where they would kind of beat it into us. Not physically beat us, but
Yeah. No, we definitely were raised with the fear method. I think
Oh, yeah.
that was just the normal way, of parenting at the time.
I was wondering the other day, because like I got spanked when I was like really, really little. And so I have like very vague memories of it. Like I can barely remember it. But like I remember being like terrified of my parents sometimes when they'd be like, don't do that. I'd be like, oh God, I can't do that. Even though I knew they weren't going to hit me. But it's just like, why? Why was that fear so prevalent?
Yeah. I think it's just that's the only way that they knew, right? Like they learned from their parents. And I think each generation we figure out, what was missing in the previous generation. And we try and, fix that somehow. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like you communicate with George more because you didn't have
Oh,
that?
100%. I like specifically try to do
Yeah.
certain things different. Yeah.
So every generation, somehow we improve, right?
I know another dad who, when he was growing up, he was like really, this is an older person. Anyways, he was beaten by his dad. And so his idea of good parenting is like, well, I don't beat you. So I'm a better parent than I had.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're still a shitty parent, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was just so prevalent, like much more than we thought. Like
Oh, yeah.
the level of like physical abuse in some households, right? It was just like normal. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still like very normal in China too, like that level of like, and you can't do anything because it's like more Confucianist way of organizing the society where like the elders are the, more experienced ones. They have the more authority so that you can't question them. And then if you do, you get hit, right? And so I think that is slowly changing as, we can talk about things more and more. But yeah, I don't know. It's,
And how many, I mean, obviously you can't speak for a country of 1 billion people. How many fucked up people do you think you see around walking around Beijing because they aren't allowed to feel anything?
well, they just end up drinking a lot. Yeah, that's really how they get out that
Yeah.
pressure. And the expectations are just so unrealistic. It's, yeah, I think at least in my family, we had a lot of expectations put on us. And it was just like coming from an immigrant family, like I'm a first generation. It's like a different mentality, right? Like, you have to live up to certain things because they didn't have those things,
Yeah.
right? So whatever they lacked, they want you to make up for that. And
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
yeah, it
I could
makes
see
sense.
where, I guess, thinking about that now, I was like, why do my parents, they had all these super high expectations, but both my parents grew up like super, super poor. My mom grew up in like coal mining towns, and my dad grew up like on these like with the railway sort of in some ways. And anyways,
Where was that? Where did
in Morris, Manitoba.
he grew up there?
Yeah.
Oh, in Manitoba. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a rough town. Jeez. Yeah, some of those towns, like I went to go visit some of those farms when I went to school there, and just like the stories you hear, like,
Wait, you went to visit farms randomly or?
well, I mean, some of the people who I was living with,
Oh,
like in
okay.
the dorms,
Yep.
like they're from there.
Okay. Yeah.
So they would take us, like I remember once this local guy took us to his town, and there's like a Mexican guy and a guy from Spain and me, and we're like totally like stick out like sore thumbs, and you get to hear like all the stories. Like, all right, you have the whatever town whore, and like you get to hear all those stories, like, and then just like the constant drinking of
Yeah.
just like nonstop, and it's just like out of control, and everyone knows everyone's business, and it's just fucking freezing. And
I've heard that Manitoba's actually like pretty good now. I think they have a pretty decent government and all that.
but some of the towns, I mean, they're just in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a
I mean-
local bar and a school, and like,
That's like everywhere though.
Yeah, everywhere has
There's
random
lots of those
towns.
in
Yeah,
Alberta.
yeah.
Right.
But
you're like, no, it's worse there. I'm telling you.
because I don't know, I have like different experiences sometimes, like just to see different people in different situations.
Oh, in the winter there would be fucking hard, and they get a lot of snow too.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah. Like some of those Winnipeg days are just fucking insane.
I remember like visiting my sister in Regina, and like still obviously just prairie province, but I think they get a lot of sort of similar weather just based on the prairies. But anyways, it'd be like -30, and that would be it for like a month.
Yeah.
It's like, good God.
Well, one day it was -68. It was the coldest place on earth. And like they have the like tunnels underneath, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't-
like around the university?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but to get to that door, it's about a minute. Like we'll just run, like make a dash for it, and your eyes are just like closed in that minute. And it's like who the fuck decided to
build here,
stay
yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just insane.
They
So,
probably were like trying to cross the country. They're like, we can't go any further. It's just snow that way.
yeah.
We're just gonna stop right here.
Yeah. And we had like all these international people that came to study in Canada. It's like, oh, Canada has these amazing schools. And they're all like, it's so shitty here. Like, yeah, it's worth it for the education, but a lot of immigrants, they can't handle the weather, right?
Yeah.
It's just insane.
My brother like had that condo or still has it, and these people rented it one time, and they were both British and they were both police officers, and they moved here for like a month or 2 months, but it was like literally they moved in like I want to say it was like December or November or something like that, and then it was like January, and they moved back. They were like, I can't stand this.
Here,
Yeah.
yeah, and even here is not the worst, right?
I mean, we haven't had something really bad in a long time, or it's like the cold will stick around for like maybe 2 weeks tops. I don't remember the last time it was like really cold for like a really long time. Yeah.
Did you know what Chinook means?
Do I know what Chinook
Yeah.
means?
Just told me.
I know it means that it gets warmer.
It-
I don't know the definition of Chinook.
it's the Aboriginal word for snow eater.
Oh, I
It
didn't
makes
know.
sense, right?
Huh?
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
When she told me, I was like, oh, that makes, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I know it is when the air goes over the mountains.
Yes, you can see the Chinook over
And
the
it
mountain.
drops all of its moisture.
Yeah.
And then so then when it hits the mountains and it comes down the side of the mountain like really, really fast, and then it picks up temperature and speed, and then when it
And then
hits us, it's warm.
when it hits the white man, we make it into a shopping center, right?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
It's funny. So at my job, I hire a few people, and I hired somebody recently from Kenya, and he had just moved here, and he was like, during the onboarding process, he stopped and he was like, "Can I ask you something?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "How do you survive the winter here?" I'm like, well, "This isn't that bad. Like this is like -20. Like that's fine." He's like, I don't know how to stay warm." And I'm like, I think you just got to be used to it. I'm like, give it a few years, like this will be nothing. And then I tried to explain to him the Chinook, and I'm like, it just gets warm. Like,
Yeah,
it'll just
it
get
is hard
warm
to-
for a while. All the snow will melt, and then it'll all freeze over again, and we'll get snow again. It just repeats.
You should say snow eater.
I could just say
you
snow
said
eater.
snow eater, he would
that's
know.
more. I'll have more questions if I say, "Oh, a snow eater is here."
Yeah. It sounds like a video game, like Monster
that's true.
Hunter or
That's
Snow
true.
Eater. Yeah.
It's funny. I saw this TikTok video, and it was this guy in Calgary, and he was from Africa, I think, and he was just talking about how cold it was. And as he's like walking down his like back alley, and you can hear all of his footsteps with that like hard crunch. It's just like, good God, it's got to be like -30 out there. That's brutal.
Yeah.
because you could just tell by the sound of the snow.
So back to
So
the
Canadian.
future of the pod.
I thought we were just chit chatting now. God damn it, Jordan.
Any other ideas?
I mean, I think we still have a little ways to go to really kind of perfect what we're doing, but
What do you think about YouTube and the algorithm and stuff? Like,
I have no thoughts on it.
I don't ever go on YouTube, so I don't know.
because
The only thing I watch on YouTube are wrestling videos and like Rhett and Link.
what is that?
Rhett and Link. They've
Yeah.
been on YouTube forever. They have it's called Good Mythical Morning. And they're just two friends. They've known each other like as long as we have. And they just do a stupid video every day for like 10, 20 minutes. They'll eat different foods from all parts of the world. But it never gets political. It's always just like, this is supposed to make you happy in the morning.
Yeah.
So I usually watch that over breakfast. But other than that, it's wrestling videos.
Because right now we're just using like ChatGPT thumbnails, right? And I think a lot of people are just starting to use that. So I think, and it has like a similar kind of art style somehow.
Why don't we just pick one?
Well, I mean, most YouTube thumbnails have a photo of the people, right?
Oh yeah, I guess we could do that.
Mr. Beast video, those, you'll have a shocked look on your face, and then I can't believe he did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you told me that we talked about that before. We're like,
Oh yeah, every video, every
Yeah.
thumbnail is the same.
Yeah.
The Kevin face from Home Alone.
because like literally like most podcasts have some clickbait headline, right? Like, or at least
True, yeah.
something that like promises you something, like draws you in somehow, is a little bit like conflicting, is something that makes you want to click on it, right?
It's like Joe Rogan now. It's like, here's a literal Nazi. Listen to this.
And everything if they promise you in the thumbnail or the title, it's always at the end of the video.
Yeah.
So you have to sit there through the 45 minutes to get to what that little like clickbait was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or, you have a photo of the host and then the guest, right? So at least it's different every time.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like we don't have any guests. It's just us three. So like,
It's just you two. I'm just in the background. I'm a ghost.
I mean,
this is
Yeah.
what I think about. So, and also just like the marketing aspect, like,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we should, come up with a picture for sure.
because like, hiring an editor or something, like, because now they have all these apps and stuff to make little clips and stuff, but I don't know if it is there yet. But like, editors, they can just do all this stuff pretty easily and kind of promote on social media somehow.
Well, I think once we get more episodes, like
Yeah.
even 10 more episodes, we can start taking some of our favorite parts.
Yeah, like make
we
a
could-
trailer at least. Like on a YouTube.
Well, not
main
even
page.
like our favorite. We could just take our favorite parts and put like a little minute
that's
clip
true.
on TikTok or whatever. Like,
little
and that's
clips,
kind of how you get it,
Yeah,
right? And then
Yeah.
if you hit the algorithm there, and then people start going to the podcast.
exactly. Then we can start.
But we don't talk about Marvel, so
We can.
We could.
Yeah. I maybe refuse to watch any more Marvel movies.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But like, when you go to a YouTube main page for a podcast, they have like a little trailer that starts. Yeah, like something that is an intro to us.
yeah, we got to liven up our YouTube page a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, like what you said, we're still,
Yeah, we got to
we
get
need
some
more.
more
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
and we got to get merch.
Merch. Yeah, totally. Just a mug with my face on it. And then I need your matching. Oh, and then Brandon trio.
Yeah. But what do you see? What do you think mental men represent?
I already said.
What?
God's sakes.
So I think mental, like, this is just a place for, like, I think we said it in the first podcast.
Yeah.
This isn't a place, like, we don't have professionals. We don't have, anybody who has any kind of doctorate or anything. It's just guys talking about what they've gone through, sharing their
Just
stories.
guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes, drinking beers, no beers.
Yeah.
But, it's just, it's more about sharing stories and feelings and being comfortable with it. And I think when we get guests, it'll be guests that are going to share their stories, not a doctor telling us this is what
exactly,
you're feeling.
yeah.
So you don't want to have a doctor.
Maybe one day, but it's not what it's about. It's not about having a therapist sit here and tell us what we're thinking. It's us sharing our thoughts and trying to.
But we could talk to a doctor and ask them like what they see is like happening, like some, some kind of insights that they have, some
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yep, for
stuff
sure.
like that.
But it's more to inspire other men to seek the help they need.
Yeah.
Like us sharing our stories about finding help or talking about like marriage and stuff. Maybe it inspires want that one guy to be like, oh, this is a problem. I should go seek help, or talk to my wife about this, or
So
that's what the goal is.
do we
for me.
have like a kind of like a system where we can guide them to a website or something where they can actually get help?
Well, that's something that we should post on the YouTube pages. On
Yeah.
each, like this is the AA, like whatever, like any
Sober magazine.
yeah, But yeah, we should put phone numbers or websites for places that they can find help.
Well, I mean,
We should not be the ones giving them help. We should be the ones inspiring them to find help.
yeah, yeah. What if Sober Magazine is that, and we just kind of build it together or something? I don't know. Just just spitballing here. Yeah, but it could be like, I don't know, a place where people could go and find resources to get help or whatever.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
go or they'll
Yeah.
even read a story that they see themselves in that story, and they'll be like, "Oh, I can find help. This person found help."
Yeah,
That's what I think this is kind of kicking off, is because I mean, so many, like we've talked so many times, like so many men push it down. They don't talk about things. They just.
yeah,
I still do it sometimes. I'm sure you guys still do it sometimes. It's
Yep.
not, we're not perfect, and I think more guys have to realize that they're not perfect either, and they can talk about their shit.
yeah, yeah. I recently told a friend yesterday about this podcast, and then they replied like, "Do you have a mental health background?" I'm like, I didn't respond yet.
You're like, no, that's not the point.
Yeah,
Our mental health background is that we have taken control of our mental health.
That I have, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
yeah. I like that. But it could be like, I don't know, building a community here, right? Like, because
For sure.
I think, I mean, we'll have to start looking for guests at some point, right? So we need like to be more active in the community somehow. Like,
Well, I think we start with, yeah, if we can find some people we know, hey, do you want to come on this podcast, talk about if we know about a situation they've been in? But yeah,
because a lot of people won't feel
They won't- no.
comfortable. So,
but that's why this podcast, if we get it out there, we start getting it out there, and people hear listening to it, they're gonna be like, oh, I want to share my story.
yeah.
I want to do what these guys are doing. But
But-
don't take our idea for the podcast.
I found like with Coffee with Canadians that a lot of people were hesitant to tell their story.
Yeah.
So, like to go on camera and then have it there forever, it's like very daunting to a lot of people. So I don't know. We'll have to think about like, making them feel comfortable about telling their story, and it's not about exploiting them.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that would be obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious to us, but from an outsider,
there'll be a frozen pizza waiting for them when
That's
they come.
true. Yeah, there
So,
can
I
be a
mean-
lot of frozen pizza.
Yeah.
are you guys sick of them yet?
Can't get sick of frozen pizza, Drew.
No.
Well, yeah, I have some ideas for.
Well, what other ideas do you have? Like, you've talked a lot to us about like expansion, and
Well,
like,
I started thinking like building a media company in Calgary, like over the next decade, and like having different kind of like platforms. So like a Calgary media company with different. So I got like calgarydads.com, for example. And I thought like, oh, your story about talking about dads here, it's a little like they don't have like a network or a support group.
There probably is on like Facebook, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not on Facebook, so
Yeah, I think Facebook is like too toxic now. Like,
it's garbage.
I
Yeah.
also think Facebook has moved past. It's like the older generation now.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and like we were talking about AI. I don't know if you've noticed all those AI pictures on Facebook and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's all just old people being like, "Oh, this is amazing." It's like it's not real,
Yeah.
right? So
But I was thinking like some kind of like platform, even just paying $10 a year or something that like weeds out all the fake people or whatever. Like so that you can actually participate, and there could be like actual community events, like,
Yeah.
a run every, one Sunday a month or
I'm
something,
not running.
or something, something like that.
No, you said run. Now it has to be a run. It's the only way.
Okay, a walk, some kind of like, we're building a community more, like we're more active, and then we have like a system where we can have guests here and we can be more involved in the community. That was kind of my vision, and like building community at a larger scale, like with the city of Calgary involved. So yeah, that's just, I have, 12 different platforms that I have in my mind, like Calgary concert. I was thinking there's a lot of like ticketing systems, right?
You've told us about it, yeah.
I've told, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
boring as hell. But it could be something a little different, like think outside the box. Like,
Yeah.
instead of it being a ticketing site, it could be like, artists can post their own like mini concerts that they're doing in bars or whatever. They can just upload those concerts, make money that way, where you can watch the concerts from home, right? You don't have to like go out to these places or whatever. Just like thinking in different ways, like that's, I feel like Calgary's so traditional still somehow, and there's so much like room.
Yeah, people crave connectivity.
Yeah. So I think with our stories, we can find, kind of niche in that. So
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And just, some of the men that we meet or whatever. I mean, there's so many interesting people, right? And
Yeah.
but we just have to have a net to like catch them here and interview them,
Yeah,
not use them.
Reel them in, baby.
But I think, as we go along, we'll meet some fascinating people.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I hope so, anyways.
And for anybody who does subscribe or whatever, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
We want you to leave comments. We want
Yeah.
to hear what your thoughts are and
Or any ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think, yeah, definitely.
Write questions. We can do question.
Yeah, I like that,
episodes. Yep. Questions for us non-professionals.
Yeah. Which,
But they can be about anything. It doesn't always have to be about mental health. We're, like you said, trying to build a community. So it doesn't always have to be about mental health, but it's about connecting us and trying to get everybody more comfortable with each other.
yeah, we can have events in the future.
We could.
The bowling night with mental men.
Not bowling, Jordan.
Okay, golf. You guys just want to sit.
You can watch us play 18 holes of golf on
Yeah.
PGA Tour.
Yeah.
I'm too competitive. People come out and they'll be like, oh yeah, we're building a community. I'll be like, you dropped the fucking ball.
Any other thoughts about the future of this?
No, well, I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
I think we're off to a good
Don't want to put too much onto it, right? I mean, it could,
Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of have to see.
it has to be manageable.
You have to get enough under our belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be manageable. Like, I don't want you guys to feel like you are forced to do this. Like, it should be something.
I got caught in your net.
Yeah, he reeled me in. Yeah, big mistake.
No, I'm happy to be part of this.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this.
Yeah. It should be something that we want to do. Because I feel like growing up, we had to do certain things that was just like a duty.
You can't say duty because then I automatically think of Shaft. It's my duty to please that.
You
booty.
have these weird things.
I constantly have like movie lines stuck in my head. Or something you said earlier triggered like something that's in my head is constant.
Well, when I hear duty, I think of like the line from Simpsons, the critic, Scooby Doo can do, but Jimmy Carter is smarter. You remember Simpsons?
Yeah, I remember that.
Jesus.
I remember that line. Yeah.
We should rewatch all of
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like season 1 and 2.
That was more you
Monorail.
guys. I never really watched The Simpsons growing up.
Well,
Watched a little bit. That was more
still-
you guys.
We should have like 48-hour stream sessions.
I can't stay up that long, Jordan.
What, of me sleeping?
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people make money off
Oh.
people just watching them sleep. So usually it's hot women, but
Oh. That's makes
they can
me
watch
feel
me put
kinda
on my
gross
they can watch me put
inside.
on my sleep apnea mask and sleep for 6 hours a night.
You got to talk about that.
You
gotta
want
do-
to do a podcast on sleep apnea?
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
I
whole
would say-
episode.
A topic for another day, but it's like the fact that that kind of a thing exists of hot women sleeping when there's men that
We'll pay for it.
subscribe to that.
We'll pay
It's
for it.
fucking disgusting and weird.
Yeah,
Anyways.
there's a lot of weird things out there.
It's
Yeah.
just gonna get weirder and weirder too.
Oh yeah, especially with AI, which I'm sure you want to
Yeah.
talk about. Yeah.
Soon there will be some easily to order robots.
Can't wait.
I'm already on the subscription list for 'em.
Anyways, on that note,
Yeah.
good to
Let's end it there.
Yeah.
And that was a good 10 episodes.
We
Yeah.
made it. 10
We made
episodes.
it.
10.
Yeah,
Made it to 10,
10.
baby.
Yep.
Let's add another zero on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll
Thanks,
see
guys.
you next time. Bye.